Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate. We are all the way up to episode 42. Steve, what disc do we have this week real quick before we talk about some sales stuff?
We've got the MVP Vertex.
So it's a new, if you guys played in the MVP Circuit Series last year, you'll be familiar with this disc. We'll get to the we'll talk about the disc here in just a minute. But a couple things that we want to get to. These sweet retro Disc Golf is Life shirts are on sale. Do you know the price on those off the top of your head?
I think it's less than 20.
Oh, for sure.
So less than 20 for a long sleeve jersey. That's super cool.
$14.89.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Or $14.96. That's a weird number. So yeah, something like $14.89, $14.96. These are sweet. Dom looks super sweet in the pictures with his fro. So buy one of these. We'll ship it to you. You'll be happy.
I didn't know that they were going to do the disc golf one because when the Ultimate one came out, I was like, dude, I think I might get that. But now that they've got the disc golf one, I was like,
do you not read the emails where it says disc golf one coming soon?
No.
Okay. So also, disc member, we talk about it every month. We've gotten some really great feedback about these traces, that they fly awesome, that they look awesome. This is the disc member disc from last month. I'm going to give one of these away during the show tonight, so make sure you comment, like the video, share the video, and you might win one of these guys. They are super awesome, and I've got a few left. We'll try to. If you're a disc member, you need to join Fans of Disc Member on Facebook, and I will be posting some of these to be bought next week. So be commenting on the video, and you will win your choice of color and stamp. But if you're not a disc member, you go to discmember.com, which hopefully somebody's posting a link to that in the comments, and sign up. Steve, what do they get when they're a disc member?
Our program is super cool, guys. So when you're a disc golf disc member or an Ultimate disc member, you're getting a pro account through UDisc. So this is an app that we use for our videos. It's an app that tons of people use specifically for disc golf, but I bet you could figure out a way to make it work for Ultimate. But disc golf, it's super cool. Find courses, talk about courses, really measure throws, which is using the GPS on your phone. You can keep track of specific discs.
That's actually how we do it for the show.
Yes.
We use UDisc Pro to measure all the throws for the show. They hooked us up with a free account over a year ago to start doing that. So that's how you guys get the distances in this. But it's $24.99 a month, and you get some sweet stuff. Reeser, I think, has a preview of this month's disc member stuff, which we just announced today. We just got this final today. So in April, we've partnered with Prodigy again. So they've been one of the biggest supporters of disc member from the start. They always hook me up really nicely. They're redoing the H series of discs, which is kind of their drivers that are between their distance drivers and their fairways. They made them a little faster and a little glidier. So they're going to be 10 or 11 speeds, somewhere in there. And we're getting the H1, which should release within a week. It's either going to be early or just a bit after the release of the H1 to the public. So we're getting the H1. We're also partnering with Disc Golf Instruction, which, have you checked out any of the Disc Golf Instruction stuff yet?
No, you said you had all the files, so I was like, hey, I need to check that out, but
it's
we're
just a
busy.
login to the website.
Oh, great.
So it's easy. But what do you know about Disc Golf Instruction, Steve?
I know that it's by Will Schustrick is the guy who is videoed and doing the instruction.
Who is Will Schustrick?
Dude, Will Schustrick is one of the reasons why I at least have some sort of form for disc golf. Like when I started playing, I just went out and threw, and then the first video I really watched was him. Like it was like a 10-minute video of his instruction. He looked like he was maybe 13. I'm sorry.
He looks like he's 13.
Yeah, he looked very young, and he was at like a park. And that first idea of this is where you pull through, that was my first inkling into disc golf as like technique and stuff. And so now that he's grown up, continued to be successful in disc golf in the community.
Three-time U.S. champ.
He's got this new program, and I've seen the previews, and if it's any kind of quality like that, I'm sure this is
The video production on it is top notch.
Yeah.
And so in Disc Member, you're going to get free access to the beginner program and a 50% discount to the advanced program. So the advanced program is going to release here soon, so that's what those are going to be. And then what about the ultimate package? Let's talk about them real quick.
Yeah, so first off, Nate loves pizza, except he can't eat the red sauce, and I love pizza, and now we're going pizza everything. We got pizza cutter, we got a pizza neck gaiter, kind of you can wear however you can
Thermal
figure
throat
out.
sock.
There you go. You figure out how to get it on, cover up the extremities. And then we got the pizza super color Ultra Star.
We've had the Supreme Pizza for a long time.
We have done an update to it, so it's just pepperoni. I know there were some people who were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys have mushrooms on this thing." So this one's just plain, but still beautiful disc. It looks delicious and it flies great.
All right, so that's Dismember. Get on there, check it out. Again, make sure you're commenting on the video, liking and sharing the video. We'll give one disc away to someone who guesses the farthest backhand distance, and then we'll give one of the Vertex. We'll give the yellow Vertex to that person, and then the orange Vertex, and then a Dismember trace of your choice will be given away to somebody who either makes a funny comment, asks a good question. So make sure you're asking questions, posting good comments, and a couple of people will win stuff for that. So guess your farthest backhand distance and who threw it, and you might win a Vertex, and then comments and questions will win a trace or another Vertex. So what we do here on this is great with Steve and Nate. Oh, let's talk about the Dismember raffle. Forgot about that. So that's coming up in 8 days. We draw on the 15th.
The 15th.
So how do they enter the Dismember raffle, Steve?
What we like for you to do, so you can be entered, is you take a photo of what was in your last package. That way, one, we know you're a Dismember and are interested in winning some of our cool stuff that we have for raffle, but it also helps share with other people what they can expect. Like, there were tons of different colors that we had in this last, like the traces, there were already here. There's 4 different colors there. So we're take a picture of that, post it either on Facebook, Instagram, and then Twitter as well. But as long as it's hashtag Disstore, hashtag Dismember, all that, those specifically Dismember and Disstore, you will be entered and get a chance to win some cool stuff.
And you can post to all 3 places for 3 total entries.
Yep.
So post to all 3. And it's kind of important to do this. A, it gets out to more people so more people can subscribe. But the more of these things that get posted to fan pages and feedback pages, the other manufacturers that we work with see that. And the more that they see that, the more popularity they perceive Dismember has, the better they're going to work with me and get me better deals so we can get you cooler stuff.
The club
but
gets better.
This month in March, this is what we're giving away. So the raffles are a big deal. Steve, what's in there?
Dude, we have baskets, like
4 of them.
crazy.
4
That
baskets.
is for spending the $24.99 to have a chance to get a basket blows my mind. These guys really went all out for us.
So there's 2 Black Hole Pros and 2 Axiom Pros. I need to bust those Axiom Pros open and see what colors they are. So because we don't know. Axiom Pro comes in like 6, 8 different colors, something like that.
Yeah, they really do.
And so I don't know what colors you're getting. We're also getting a Voyager Pro and a Voyager Slim bag in there. And honestly, those are 2 of the most comfortable bags I've ever put on.
You were telling me when they first came out, you were like, this feels really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting a new bag for this season,
Yeah.
and it's the Voyager Pro is on the short list. And the Slim just doesn't carry as much stuff, so if you don't use as many discs as I do, you can grab that, and it's super nice. We'll also be giving away probably some extra traces and some other MVP discs. But anyway, that's a ton of stuff that's in the raffle. Get on it, do it, make sure all that happens. All right, so if you're new to This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate, what we do is we take newly released discs out to a field, throw them a bunch of times, film it so we can tell you what it flies like, show you what it flies like, and it's not just us telling you, you actually get to see it. So this week we're doing the MVP Vertex. So why don't you tell us about the Vertex, Steve, while I show them a little bit of how that.
So you did explain how this was a new release last year for player packs?
It came out in the Circuit Challenge, which is like MVP's, same thing like the
Like a
Trilogy,
trilogy,
Challenge
yeah.
or the Ace Race. So that was the only, this is the first release of it to buy from retailers.
Cool. So it seems like those who threw it last year liked it enough to say, hey, let's get this in everybody's hands. So this is a mid-range from MVP. The numbers on it are 5, 5, -3, 1. So understable mid-range. Says the Vertex is a utility mid-range with an array of understable tricks ready to lower your scores. An understable mid-range can add possibilities to any bag. Whether you're an expert carving up wooded tunnels or you haven't yet found that easy straight thrower you desire. The Vertex is more understable than its Axiom Theory cousin, but has a nice ending fade to settle it down at your target. Again, 5, 5, -3 ones. 5 speed, 5 glide, -3 understability, that high speed turn, and then the low speed fade. So we threw in calm conditions for the most part. It really was not windy. We weren't throwing into a direct headwind like we tried when we were throwing the Tremor. Boy, that was fun.
Which, speaking of, that's the disc that I would immediately compare this to, is
Yep.
the Tremor.
Yep.
The Tremor, the Archer, something like a Tursus, maybe like an Evidence. I haven't thrown an Evidence, so I can't 100% say that. But those are the kind of discs we're looking at. Really flippy mid-ranges. So how does it feel in the hand, Steve?
It feels a lot smaller than it looks.
It feels like a putter.
Yeah, it really does, but there's just that little bit more width that it has that you can say, oh, okay, yeah, this is going to be a 5-speed. But they're actually quite flat as well. So I always kind of thought, get some dome on there, and that's going to cause that turbulence to make the disc just move,
Dome gets you glide.
move with the rotation. But
Yeah, they
I haven't
feel
thrown.
nice.
We
It's
haven't
nice and
thrown a lot of
comfortable.
MVP.
I feel like this is something that's gonna fit in a beginner's bag next to a Signal. Like your Signal is gonna be your distance driver. This is gonna be that slower disc, approach disc for you. But let's see those videos and see how it flies.
What's the weight on that one, Nate?
This is 177.
177. This one's 175. We try to keep it as close as we can. Like if we only got lightweight discs, we're only gonna throw like the closest we can. So 176 for mid-range, that's pretty average.
Yeah, we try to keep it as close to 175 as possible just for consistency between videos. So throwing a 180 overstable mid-range versus a 160 understable mid-range is going to be more of a variant than the normal. So yeah, we try to keep it pretty solid. Yeah, let's see how the videos go. All right, probably starting as we do every week.
Hyzer time, activate. All right, so big hyzer.
That is a
It
lot of hyzer.
It wasn't quite immediately, but once that thing started to flip up, it really just kept going. 264 from that much angle, I probably threw it a little too hard, and I might be saying that again later, where I try to throw really hard for you guys because I want to get it past 300, and when people guess low for me, I get sad. So,
but
big
that
hyzer.
is there. It's real.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's see the next one.
This looks a little more controlled. Yeah.
Also, I got my face again.
That's more like it. That is the controlled hyzer. Pops up, and I have to put it on this angle because it's popping up. If you see, this is how you play the game of angles when you're throwing a lower speed disc, when you can throw fast. So if I gave this disc to my dad, who he likes the Archer, he'd throw this flat and it would stay flat. So me, with a little more power, I'm throwing it here, it's popping up, and then this is definitely a 5 glide disc.
Yeah,
I was
super
really
glide.
impressed with that.
If you don't overpower it, it's super glide.
Yes.
If you overpower it, it burns into the ground real fast. So yeah, that's a lot of hyzer, and that flipped up to straight. Let's see this shot from me. Okay, that's almost as hyzer.
Yep.
Not quite. Thrown hard. And yeah, 258. So other discs that I throw that hard that are similar speed are going to go farther, but this one is just turning, and it's not going to be able to stay in the air long enough because it's wanting to turn to the ground. So again, that came out real hyzer, popped up to flat, and then went right on over and isn't fading out. That was still going right when it hit the ground. So super flippy, which is great. Again, high turn discs like this are great for beginners because you don't have to throw it hard to go as far.
Oh yeah.
So, or straight. Like you don't have to really work it to get it straight. You can throw it nice and soft, and it'll still go on the angle you want it to. All right, let's check out a couple more clips here. See if we can get it a little flatter. Nope, still hyzer.
It's a fun.
296, almost there.
It's
almost
fun
there.
watching something you threw here come all the way up here, and then just keep staying in the air. Like I'm throwing certain discs that are put on this angle. They're going to stay on that angle the whole time.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Like the P3X we threw last
Oh
week.
yes. Lucky for me, that's honestly natural. This is an angle that I don't mind throwing because this is kind of how the disc has been coming out since I started playing golf. So I really like this disc where I can still rip on it to a certain extent, and it just pops up and almost hits 300.
Again, that's no fade. That was straight and just hit the ground flat.
There's tons of times where you don't have the luxury of going far on either side of a fairway. This is money just to know it's going to pop up, and if you don't burn it, it's look at that. There's like no fade. It seriously just kept going and going and going. Had a nice sit down. Just money.
Yep.
I really like this disc.
296 might be a candidate for farthest throw.
Could be, unless
You've been guessing. So that's a little bit flatter and hard, and that's kind of what I'm talking about when you overpower it. Like that's more power than this disc can really handle because of how understable it is. So I got it a little closer to flat, and it just turned, and too much turn.
I was quite scared though.
It did roll right at your feet.
Yeah.
You were a little close, getting you back. You deserved it at that point. But yeah, so I threw it hard, getting closer to flat. It pops up all the way over. It's definitely wanting to turn. Doesn't have the fade to handle a big snap. So if you're overpowering this disc, that's what it's going to look like. All right, so that's flat. Not quite, maybe not, no, probably just as hard. So same kind of thing. From a flat angle, it's not going to hold that flat. It's going to go ahead and turn over. So, I mean, 243 is just as far as it could get before it hit the ground.
Yeah.
Honestly. We didn't get a chance to go out and film again. I want to throw some rollers with this guy because I think you can throw some mid-range rollers with
Totally.
it. Pretty easily, probably from flat. But yeah, it's really turny. So if you've got a big arm, this isn't going to be your go-to workhorse mid-range because you just can't rip on it like you want to. But if you're somebody like Steve's dad or somebody who has lower arm speed and can't throw as hard, this might be great for you because you can throw it a little softer. I think we got some softer throws coming up. We'll see. Let's see what else we got. I think I've got, Steve got it nice and flat, almost Annie.
I think I was just trying to go for a giant, like, Annie stall out, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I should have thrown it on the hyzer angle because then it really would have stalled out. But then again, maybe I was trying for the sky roller. I can't totally recall, but
yeah, if you throw it flat and hard, it is not doing anything but rolling.
I would almost say I could actually use that shot if I wasn't comfortable with a flick and needed to move off that way, but knowing I can toss that flat up high, and then it's like if it totally burns out like that, and I know it's going to do that, like it does it every time, then that could be good. But then at the same time,
a little unpredictable.
I've seen some holes where like you specifically try and crash into a tree to just kind of drop, I could see that happening and working.
All right, let's see. Do we get any of the softer throws in here? I think there are. I think we got a couple more left. Oh no, this is me trying to throw a turnover. So I get a little bit of anti-angle on that, trying to get it high and let it work. So that one, it didn't burn as much. Like, it didn't hit on an angle and roll. It did get it to land kind of flat, which is kind of what you want on a turnover. But again, 221, not going to be able to get it to do much farther than that without taking a lot of control off of it. So again, there are some, like, forehands and turnover backhands hit the ground differently. So depending on angle of hills and trees you have to get around, the turnover backhand has a use, even if you do have a flick. And so this is something where you can really work it around some things. I'd use it a lot the same way that I use my archer. Actually, I carry a tremor now. Took the archer out of the bag for the tremor because I figured I'd carry the dismember one.
Yeah.
Also, it's flexy, so I like that. Same kind of thing. I use it to like get around things in the woods if I'm in a really bad spot. Like, I'm not driving with my tremor very often. I'm in a bad spot. I can't fully rotate. I can't fully follow through, so I'm going to have to saw something off. This would be a disc that I could fill that hole too, where I can throw it not as hard and it'll still go straight, or I can work some interesting angles.
And then I tried to throw a flick.
This is not the disc I would say is a go-to forehand disc for most people.
If you can just absolutely baby a forehand, or like you have no forehand, maybe this will work. But like this is like a standstill. I'm like on the ground, kind of got thing, and I have to get out, and that's my only way. There's just nothing over to my right side. That's when I would try.
Basically, I think you got better forehand options unless you are always releasing hyzer and you have super low arm speed. I didn't get a chance to try this out before our camera battery died, so we don't know how. I didn't get to baby flick any of it, but it's not a lot. That you
I had like
do.
3 tries, and it just.
Why don't you run us by the numbers again, Steve?
Yeah. So the MVP Vertex, this is a 5-speed disc. It has 5 glide. The high-speed turn is -3, and the fade is 1.
So yeah, that's kind of the numbers we're looking for a great beginner mid-range, and I think that's exactly what this is. I think those numbers are pretty close. It doesn't feel as fast as a 5. I might give it a 4, speed-wise. But I think those numbers are pretty spot on. Otherwise, it's real flippy. So if you're throwing it hard, it's going to dump on you a lot. So it's only going to be good for those soft shots, those approach shots,
Tailwinds,
tricky shots in the woods. But it's going to be a great beginner disc for like kids, and like if you want to take your girlfriend out and she doesn't throw very hard and you want her to actually throw something straight, get this. Like I said, if you've got somebody who likes the signal, they're bagging the signal as a driver, this is going to be a great mid-range for them. It's going to fly very similar. They're going to be able to achieve similar shots. So it's not a disc for everybody. Though, like I said, I could use this in the same spot I use my tremor, so I can find a use for it. But it's definitely going to be a great beginner disc. But make sure you check out our other videos, get on Dismember, and we will see you guys later.
See you guys.